Yeah, in this video, we are going to build Blinks game and a production ready one. Every steps that you need, it takes for you from how you conceptualize the idea, the game mechanics, and how do you reward user, how do user pay, how do you keep all those things on chain and all those things. We'll cover it step by step in this guide. But first, let's test what we'll be building together. And for those of you that are new to Blinks, we have the full guide here. This is the episode 2. The first episode I talk about basically intro to Blinks, and we built a basic Blink. So, but here now we are taking it more into more advanced by building Blinks game. So let's examine what this would be. This dialects to website where you can test your Blinks. You will learn all that as well. So click submit, and I need to move over here, probably in the middle, because I want to put in Phantom wallets. Beside here. So all this you are seeing, we are in developer mode. So Solana DevNet and all these are fake money. They are not real. They are fake tokens just for development and not real money. Now we have, this is what we'll be building: rock, paper, scissors. I will refer to it in short as RPS game. So the RPS game, when you have rock, you have paper. This is rock sign. When you have something like this, it's rock sign. When you have this, like, is paper, and when you have something like this, it's scissors. So we learn all those things together, but let's just play around it first. Let me play with one. So select move, then select the opponent, click play. So we sign the transaction. You will learn more about all this and confirm. So I did a mistake here. That's why it's not working. We are on localhost and on DevNet, but I didn't change it. So I need to refresh this, change it over. So it's even good. So in case you do mistake like that, DevNet, then retry. You can see it now. So game over. You know, we have 3 results that it can have. When you can lose, that means when you lose, whatever you play with, you lose the money. But you can also draw. When it's draw, then you get back the amount you used to play. Then the last one is win. When it's win, it is double back for you. So let's retry if we'll be able to get other ones. Well, if I come back here and look over this activity, let's refresh this wallet and look at this activity. You can see it now that you just got one so that we used to play now, and when I click on that, you will also get to see it that the move was recorded on chain. So you can see it, RPS game, player, right? You know, that's rock. Then boot, pick P. Then the result was loss. So I played with one so, and so I didn't get anything back. And that was, you can see it, this 15 something. And that was the last transaction here. So let's replay again. Probably if we can see kind of draw and get refund 100% of the money, or we lose and get and win. Sorry, let's try. Confirm. You can see game, it is a draw. So now we got it. It said game done, one so have been sent to your wallet. So remember, when it's draw, we get back. So let's see here, back to this, refresh it, and then let's click here. You can see it that we first got this received, and then this from the demo account 2. That was the account we are using to play the game. The demo account 3 is the game account, as you can see, the last one we did from 2. Then you can see it now that there's now a transaction back from this game demo account 3 to demo account 2 back. Again, you can see it. So -1 because it was draw. So it sent back the same one we received. So if you click here, that's the first transaction. Then this transaction also, let's open them, 3JO. So the first transaction we did was we played the game. It was a draw, so we played with one so. Then at the end of the day, we got reward, and it was draw. And because it was draw, we were sent back the one so. And if you check the balance from here, so balance, you can see it. This is the wallet that did the transaction, -1, and then +1 makes 7. And here we -1 again and add it back to it. So let's try 1 or 2 more times to see if we can get winning. All this I'm showing you so that you'll be able to build this in this game, all the features, the on-chain and everything you see has been required. So it's good you take time to experience what you want to build. Let's replay. I just want to stick to that rock so that it can increase my chances of winning, since I'm repeating the same thing. Better luck next time. Can we try again? I just know if I keep taking rock, I will win in one of it. So good. So congratulations, you won. 2 souls has been sent to your wallet. Good. Let's go back to the wallet, refresh, and go back to activities. There you go. We had 3 transactions, yeah, from 1526, because we did one, it was a loss, so we didn't get anything back. It's not loading. Let's retry it. So you see it. This wallet just got plus 1 so and did nothing. You see it. Then we played again and with another 1 so, but this time we won. So we got 2. So let's see the game. And then the last one. You can see it now that this is the game where the player are. We click rock and the boot and the results is win. So you will learn about all the game mechanics later. So why this is R and S, which one wins and things like that. And we played with 1 so. So eventually we got back, you see, reward win sent 2 so, double of that. So and if we check the so balance change for the player here -1 and this was 7 so and now 8 so. But over here where we have the win, if we go back here, you can see then this from 8 deducted to which was double, and this got back to now becomes 18. So you can see that everything is recorded on chain. So even in case there's the issue and things like that, we'll learn about it, that you now need to fix issue with the players that didn't get their winning reward. Having it recorded on chain is a kind of breed trust, because neither you, the developer, nor the player can go and change it once it's recorded on chain. This is a successful transaction on Solana blockchain and it's not reversible. So that makes it more trustworthy. So those are the transactions. Let's now go back and see how do you build this and have it rendered in Blinks, including how you can as well deploy it to be a production level game. At the same time, we'll also include how you can, as a developer, if you have idea you are building Blinks, grant bounties and opportunities that may support you. Everything we will examine it together in this video. Yeah, we will now get started with the Blinks, and like I said, if you are new to Blinks, this is episode 2. I've done episode 1 before. What is Blink? We built basic beginner friendly Blinks before we now started moving to this episode 2, which is more advanced and focusing on building Blinks game. So as of now, it's very I've sought online, I couldn't find any resources on building Blinks game. So here I have to help make it much easier. So let's get started following this guide one by one. So the first thing, the link to the guide will be, we talk about at the end of this guide, we go from zero knowledge of Blink game development to developing a production ready. So what you will build, we have seen it. The game, we've seen the transaction. So that's how I came about all this. The case you can have, like you lost, you draw, or you win and get double of it, and all the transaction done on chain. So this, I was inspired to build this rock paper scissors Blink game based on Send Arcade. So they built a lot of multiple games that Blink Send Arcade. So I was inspired by one of those, their Blinks game, and their own code isn't open source for it. So I had to do my research, including working with Cursor AI IDE, FAI features and things like that, and figure out everything from scratch. And here we go, we have it ready and working, and I will be able to release the full source code. So at the end of the day, you also have access to the repo, so you can build on it, use it, and even include exercises for you to stretch yourself a bit more with what you have learned. So what you will learn: one, you learn more about Solana action and Blinks. You learn 2, Blinks action chaining. So what we used here is called action chaining, because that is what made it possible for us to, when we click, it was initially here, then when the user played the game, instead of maybe paying them manually later or things like that, then we trigger another blink, which through the power of action chaining. But you may not notice, but you can see that it changes from here to something like this. So it's two blinks, but you join them together with action chaining. All those things, we will learn it together as well. Then building Solana game blinks, for building Solana transaction to reward game user on chain instantly based on game play outcome. So you can see it that the user were rewarded instantly. Either they lose, they get nothing; they draw, they get back precise amount they play with. Your own might be with percentage. Maybe whenever they play, when they lose 100%, but when they draw, maybe they lose 30%, and you have the 30% and they get back 30, or you make it 50-50, they get 50%, you keep 50%. And then maybe when they lose, they win. Then they once they play, they lose 50%, so they have 50%. And that 50%, they double it. So at the end of the day, they get back full of what they played with, things like that. So you are free to do it the way you want to adjust it. And we learn about building Blinks game with Nest.js. So we'll be using Nest.js for this. Then record game player moves and result on chain using Solana memo program. So you will learn how did we ensure all these things were recorded online, on chain, on the blockchain. So how each of these were recorded. So even if there's issue, for example, this person won and maybe the transaction failed because the wallet doesn't have enough fund and things like that. So things like this could help you go back and okay, this person played with one so and won because this is already won, but there's no follow up transaction that credited the person, or the one that tried show failed transaction. So you can know that you can manually credit the person and things like that. So none of you can manipulate it, the player nor the developer. That's one of the transparent benefits of the blockchain. So now, in case you are stuck, I'm always there for support. For those of you that have been students of the Programming University, knows that I'm always there to give support. First thing I do is to make my content as simplified as possible, that some people will still be like, am I a beginner? I don't care. If you are not a beginner, you are free to skip any part of my content. I love that people skip because they feel I've oversimplified it for them, and they still find their value than beginners or people. Beginners doesn't mean you are not a pro at it, but you might have been doing Solana development but never gone into Blinks. So when you come here, you are a beginner to Blinks. So you might even do Blinks and not do gaming and action chaining. So you are a beginner at that thing because you are trying it for the first time. So you will appreciate when things are simplified for you, and that is my principle. So beginners will always find it helpful, and I will have less time answering questions because I would have answered as many questions I would have thought you asked as a beginner. So that is how people and students like the content on the Programming University. Now you can go to the Discord, the Programming University Discord, and you will be able to, first, if you have any question, comment the question below this content. This guide itself is this guide. You should comment it on. Please comment it on the guide. So, and then you can now post on Discord to just inform me. Don't post on Discord for the question because it stresses me answering the same question over and over again. So, but if it is under here, then it's the responsibility of each student to take time to check and learn from previous questions, or we just point them to check it out and save both of us energy. And as a disclosure, we may hold, invest, trade, or review, reward, receive reward, grant bounty token from review, discuss Web3 project, affiliate before, during, or after this content was published. All content on the Programming University are for educational purpose only and do not constitute financial, trading, investment, or development advice. Please do your own research. So now that is on, let's get started fully. First, we want to understand what is rock, paper, scissors game. It's a game they play physically, and according to the Wikipedia, rock, paper, scissors RPS is a hand game where two players simultaneously choose one of the three hand gesture. Rock, which is this. So rock. So when I do, two players do like this, this is rock. And then flat hand, this is paper, and here this is scissors. So the two people like play together like this. One can do like this. You understand? One can be like this. And if they do like this, they are draw and things like that. So then you learn the game mechanics. Winning combination. Rock beats scissors. I think that is what we saw here. Rock beats scissors. Do you see it? Because so if the player, whoever plays rock and the opponent plays scissors, beat. So if I play rock and the opponent, which is the boot, play scissors, which was what happened here. We did like this, we did like this, we did like this, and then I didn't open up. Then the boot has lost, and then I won. That was what happened here. And you will see here, that's how you are able to, they was able to get the double of that. So then scissors beat paper. So if it is paper and here the scissors beat paper, then if it is then paper beat rock. If it is paper and rock, then the player lose. Then if it is like both is this or this or this, then it's like tie and the same gesture, the hand is tie and things like that. So all those things are things you need to understand when you are building, because when you don't understand the game mechanics, you don't know what to build there. Then we have RPC, game design technical requirement. What are those things? Now that we know how the physical game work, how do we bring it to the digital and make it things work together? So the one, let's represent it. We need to represent the above. The player plays rock, paper, scissors game via blinks with so. So we have to have in mind that, okay, the player will play the game playing with so or whatever token you want to them to play with. So if loss, they lose so amount played, that's, you see it. If they play with 0.1 so, then they get nothing back because it's 100%. You remember you can change it, but this is what we want to use now. Then if it's draw, they get back exact so amount played with. So if they play with 0.1, they get back 0.1. So, and if win, get back double the so amount played with. So if they win, if they play with 0.1 so, they get 0.2. That was what happened here when they played with, we played with 1 so, and then we get back 2 so reward. Yeah. So using all player moves, draw, win, reward are sent to the player instantly using action chaining post method in SDL. So when the player plays either win or draw, then we use action chaining to move to the next level, where behind the scene we trigger payment, and then it show up the result of the payment or the reward payment back to the player. All player moves and results, wins, draw, losses are recorded on chain using memo for on-chain record to ensure if anything goes wrong with player getting rewarded after winning, we can step in to send their reward manually, relying on the on-chain record at the time that the game was played. I've explained that earlier. On-chain record is trustworthy as neither the player nor the developer of the game can change it once added on-chain, which build more trust and transparency in resolving reward conflicts. So now that we have clear picture of, let's now split it technically. One, we know that this game need two people playing at the same time simultaneously. So because we will not always be there, we have option one, to build a bot that will play against the player. Then two, to have two player play like a multiplayer game, and it will be maybe two friends, they pin against each other and they can play. But that will make the gaming development more complex, because anything that is multiplayer will be more complex than single player. So we don't integrate that in this, but you can play around it. Then we now need to look at the reward system. After a player draw or win, we need to consider the game reward. So manually, that isn't fun, because that means the player plays. If they draw, they should get back their fund, but we need to go and pay them manually. People will not be encouraged to engage in such, because there will be a lot of issue, a lot of lags. People, when it comes to things like this, they appreciate, play it, now you lose, good. But if you draw, you get back. If you win, you get back. That encourage people to participate more in such a game than they will be waiting for manual where there could be delay and things like that. And you won't always be sitting behind watching who is playing to say, okay, it's time to quickly reward. So it could last into hours or even days, and that won't be fun. So, but the automatic instant, what about if we can get the user play the game instantly based on the result? They are either rewarded back how much they used to play or double. So, and then to achieve that with Solana blockchain architecture, we have option for wallet account and Solana program. So developing a Solana program that receive the fund, handle the game mechanisms and things like that, reward the user and things like that. But we have the wallet, which is just your normal Solana wallet. It's free just to set up. Maybe you just put like 0.001, so what's like maybe $1 or something, to keep the account working and able to easily receive fund and things. That's just all. After that, it's just about any other fund you want to add, maybe to reward people that get double or things like that. So, and that is no code, extra code or things like that, or like that. So that is the best option we will be going for. But you can also try the Solana program if you are going to use this for more complex. This same mechanism, you can just adjust it for other type of games as well. So the three is essential tools, resources we need. You may want to learn about Solana Blinks in the documentation, and these are the wallets we use to, make to view Blinks on platform like X, Twitter, and things like that. Then Solana Blink Chrome extension, you can also use it. These are places, that's one of it that we are using now. And you also have that you can use to test your Blink in terms of inspecting if there are issues or things like that. So this is the official one, from DIAL to dialect. Then Solana Blinks Explorer, that I'm building on Explore Solana, which you can check out and see some of them. So, and then Solana Blinks and Action has some specification you need to know which are important. At least 3 things are super important in your API, which will be, you will see them: get, request, options, and then the post request. So any other one can be a function based on the game you are building. Then Solana Action Blink common issues, the course header. If you don't use the option and things like that, you can go through the guide. So let's now move to prerequisite, things you need to set up. We are now done with the intro, testing the game and things. We're now actually going into building. So sit tight, buckle up, and let's get started and dive into that. So next, since this is Next.js, we'll need Next.js Solana Blinks Development. If you are new, you should check the episode 1 out. It's also detailed, and we build basic blinks there. You can see it's detailed as well, and you can learn a lot before you come to this advanced episode 2. Then you need soul balance. So you can claim a facet. If you click here, you see the video. Then with link, you can come and claim some. So because if you see, I was just playing with 1 souls and things like that, rewarding, because all these are free soul, not real money for development. Is on Solana DevNet. So you can get those free because you will need it for testing before you even launch on mainnet and things. So those, what are the development environment setup we need? You need to have Node.js, Node Package Manager. I prefer PNPM over NPM and Yarn. Then IDE, I use VS Code, but recently I'm gradually moving more towards Cursor AI due to the AI integration. And usually most time I just use my own API, OpenAI, or the other APIs as well. So like, I've forgotten their name anyway. So I just make use of other API or things, and you can subscribe to them as well. So then we need Solana Action Node Package. This helps to make our code much smaller, because a lot of things, code has been written and abstracted away for us. And as usual, when you're having wallet connection, talking to Solana blockchain, you will usually need Web3, Solana Web3 JS for any JS or JavaScript, TypeScript related project. So then we have the video which you'll be watching. This is just a placeholder. Once I'm done with this video, it will be replaced. Now let's start creating your first Blink game, rock paper scissors game. So the first thing we need to install to get started, create a folder. Let's get this up. So here I'll be creating a folder. I think, yeah, I need to minimize this. So that we can have code and things coming here. Yeah, I think it's a bit better like that. Here we have it now. Let's start with this links. Okay. So I'm using Linux OS, so yours might be a bit different, but you just need to create a folder, new folder, and paste this. Great. So make sure none of this is uppercase or capital, because now Next.js will reject it. As you can see it here, I did the mistake naming this capital S, so it didn't install. I had to redo it. So then we need to open this and open it in terminal. In our terminal, just type code dots so that it will open this particular file in this. Let's adjust it so we can see it here. Good. So it's nice. We can have it side by side. So here now we can have the here now we can move on to the next stage. So VS Code, open a new terminal. Let's call it terminal 1 and install Next.js PNP with this. So the dots ensure that it doesn't create another folder for the something. So it just it makes this the root folder. So you don't need to give it any name. If you don't put dots, it will ask you and you can repeat it. For example, I don't put anything. I just do this. You see what name, then I can put dots. Then would you like to use TypeScript? Yes. Use ESLint? Yes. Tailwind CSS? Yes. Would you like to use code in SRC directory? No. App router? Yes. Turbo pack for next div? No. Import alias? No. Then you can see it now. I just made it the root folder, and this is installing the packages. Let's see packages on. So it's installing all these packages. So I'll be back once it's done. Here it's already successful. So the next step is we just want to confirm if this is all those things are installed, and we have everything is up to date, all the package are installed. So run the Blink. So you should see something like this. Project dev server to preview it with the command. So now we want to at least view it first before we start this pnpm dev. So we can tap here and click follow link in this. So here we have this now and it's working. So let's go back. So once we have that working, as you can see it here, so we'll leave it like that, this terminal. Now moving forward, kindly leave. Okay, he said I should even create terminal 2. But anyway, let me leave that. And so I want div server should be on, because as we build we may want to test and things like that. Why I can also have option to install more things. So I have two terminal opened. Now one is only the server I want to install, any other thing I want to install. So the next after that, installing essential node package for rock paper scissors. So we want to click and install all these packages, which if you remember, the Solana action package, node package, and web3.js. So those are the major two packages we need. And if you are using npm, yours will be npm or yarn or something. This also is installing. Okay, it was fast based on the network. So we have these two packages installed. You can see them, Solana Action and Solana Web3.js. So those two has been installed as well. Let's see the next step. Once you have this, now it's time for us to turn our Next.js app into rock paper scissors game Blinks dApp. So yeah, it is time to build a game, creating basic Solana Action RPC Blink game. So if you have done Solana Blinks before, you know that it's majorly relying on API endpoint built in a way that conform. Those are things we went through earlier. That's why you should go through this guide like that, and those episode 1. These are things you need to conform to, and I won't go back to them. So take your time to go through that first and come back to this. So by now you'll be used to what we are doing in terms of the API route that can now be unfolded to Blinks. So Blinks is like the front end interface of it, of Solana Action API endpoint. So we need to create some things, like in the app folder we want to create API. If it's not, usually default old Next.js used to come with like API file folder, but now most time it doesn't come. So you create it if it's not there, but if it's there, you use the same thing. You don't need to delete it. So the API route must be inside the app, not in the root folder, inside the app folder or app directory. So inside this API route, we want to create another folder called actions. So this is just to check, because we can have multiple different APIs doing different things. So once you have the actions, we know that this is dealing with Solana Actions related API. So we can create any other ones, like others, any other API or something like there, and the actions will just be to focus on. Then we inside that want to create, inside we can now create different actions or Blinks type. So for this we are creating the RPS, that's the rock paper scissors game. So create the folder, and inside of it we want to, let me just delete this order, I just use it to show to you. So inside the RPC folder, make sure it's selected. We want to create two folders. Remember, we have two, like one to play the game, like you saw it earlier. One is playing the game, and the second one is showing the result, but at the same time rewarding the user if they win or draw. So we need to have two of that. So one of it, we call it play, to undo the playing, and then here everything is in the guide to follow. Then for the play, first let's create a new file into it and create the actual route, that's route.ts. Then go back to this, make sure it's selected RPS, and create another folder which we now call reward. So this will help undo our reward, and for it as well we create the routes.ts file. So we have API, actions, RPS, then we have the play where we have the code for the play, and then we have routes where we have for this. So everything, in case you mix up, you can check the guide, everything is there, and you have this same thing the way I have it here now. So for the focus folder will be, for now we take it one by one. Let's first build the play, then we now build the reward. So which means we want to build this first, this one, then before we build the reward. So for us to build that, I have those codes here, and I will put them and explain. We are in AI age, so it is not compulsory you learn by typing, because I'm also changing, because time is changing. This is AI age. There are thousands of lines, hundreds or thousands of lines of code you can write easily now without actually needing to type. Just communicate with your AI, and then they get things, and then you just need to adjust. So for those that think, oh, just copying the code, yeah, this is AI age. You can take the time. That's why I break it down and start typing it out yourself. So now let's go back. Like, you can take the old repo now, give it to AI like on Cursor, and if you like me to do video more on Cursor using the Cursor AI, you can let me know in the comments below. You can tell it, I have this, I want to add this feature, and the AI will just adjust it for you, and you have it without needing to first reading the whole code or typing and doing that. So we got to move according to what things now. So add the following code below the existing one. The first one we try to implement, which is just importing get action, get response, action request, action post response. All this help undo the, remember this is an API route. So you have post response and you have get response. So that means get response to get information about the Blinks, which will be all these title, things like that. Then the get response is when there's actually interaction, like player are playing, reward is being sent, and things like that. Then as usual, we need to import some things to deal with Solana blockchain. So like public key, system program transaction, because we'll be having transaction. Don't forget, people playing, the player playing this game, they are playing it with actual crypto, either SOL or whatever you want to use. So we need to send transaction to the blockchain back and forth, and at the same time we want to make record of it. So we are using the memo program ID, and anything you just ask the AI, what is this doing, and they explain it to you. So I don't need to be spending time typing out some things. It's good as a beginner, it's help you to learn, but also understand that time is changing. Yeah, so here we move back to implement the RPC Blink Game API get request. So like I told you, there are three important things, which is get request, options, code, and the post request. Every other one are extra based on the feature of your Blink, but you will usually have those three. So we have this now, and we see a lot of these still screaming errors, but it's more of they are declared and not used. So this is just giving us information. You can see it. We are having, let me minimize this. This rock, paper, scissors, all these things that you are seeing here, you can see them. Everything like that is what we've got here. The select amount, bet in, so you can see it. That's what will come over here. So let's keep going. Then we'll get back. We want to have this. This is the option code. like I said, it helps do some pre-flight. We put that also here. And lastly, we want to have the post request, which is what handle the transaction, and that is like the input validation to check if people, for example, did they really put so in it? You understand? Like, did they submit everything that need to be submitted for the transaction to be successful? For example, player that want to play, that just click rock but doesn't pick opponent. You see that this thing doesn't work. Even if they pick opponent but they didn't pick amount to, you know, play with, it will not work. So all these checks are what this code does there. And then the last part, this include also game logics and the transaction. Like I told you, we'll be doing transaction and also be using memo. So you can see this now, and oops, it copied those lines. Ooh. So we just have about 2 errors here which are like defined but not used. As you can see, it types error. So here we'll check and put the full code there. But before we do that, I've explained. Let me put the first code. I'm coming here now. The image, we need to add the image we want to use. So you get the image and put it inside public folder. So I think I have some inside my download, which is this. You drag it into the public folder, and then I can be back here. So you can see it now that I've dragged this here, and make sure the name align inside here. You see it is according to this name, so it will find it and figure it out for you. So then change the wallet address as well. So the wallet address here, you should change it to, because whichever the wallet you have here is the wallet that will receive, is the game wallet, so that will receive the fund and also credit back reward for users. So you want to make sure you change it from here to your own game wallet. So over here I have the full code. So let me copy the full code. Make sure when you copy, you don't have the line beside it. Copy only this. Copy. So let me clear everything and paste this, and you see that all the errors has been fixed. So I've explained earlier, before we move on, this import and also the game wallet to whatever the wallet you want to use. So that's, you change it here. Then these are helper function. Remember, we say we want to build a boot, so that's just creating a code that can play the game on its own. So this we just call it helper functions. It's a determine winners. If player move equivalent to boot move. So how do you set? generate boot move. You know, the player will generate their own move by whatever they select here. Then we need to play the move, you know, random generate move. So each time the boot pick output either R or P or S, and then keep doing the mathematical random selection like that. Then once that boot selects that and output, we now compare it. If they are equivalent, player boot move, return draw. If player move equivalent to R and boot move equivalent to S, player wins. If player move is P, boot move is R, you understand, player wins, because paper is seen as greater than rock. You understand things like so. Paper, a player move S, that is scissors, then the boot move is P, is still a win. So all these are what we said. But if neither of these or these are correct, then it means the player lost. So, and the next one, we have the get code. So we have the get request code. Like I told you, three important things: the get request, the options, and the post. So we see the three. So this is what is displaying whatever information we need here. So for example, now at this level, we can even try to test it before we do the reward. Let's see if that will work now, and I will show you more, explain some things more for you in there. So if we go back to dialects, it's the same endpoint, but here is 3001. So make sure you are using the precise port. So let's go back here and change this to 3000 is 1. So then you submit. Then you notice that this is on now. And for example, if I change anything here, all these labels, if you learn the previous, you will understand that these labels are like ignored and these are used. So you can see we can change this to play amount, and you will notice this. If I refresh this page now, you can see it. That's now play amount instead of bet amount. You see it. So these are things you can adjust as you like. Then the type, select, name. So these are type. This type indicates in terms of actions and blink the type of button or things like that. You see, it's a select button. Why this is a radio button, so that's why it's this. You understand things like that, so you should keep that in mind. Then play amount in, so we can change the amount. For example, we don't want people to play up to 1, so maybe we just need 0.5. So you can save this, and if we refresh, this we have max of 0.5. So turn it back to one. So you need to always refresh it, or you also have a refresh something that I'm covering there that you can try. So you now have up to like one so there. So every of these, you can see it is the interface, but once user interact like click, then you need the post request. So here is the option that help to ensure fix issue with cause error. You know, anything that has to do with API, one of the frustrating thing is cause error. So you don't want that, and you can see it here. It help fix it. So you just put this, and the package, some actions package sort everything for us. Now we have the post request code, which we are trying to put them inside try and cache, and a lot of things we are in terms of amount, all these things are being passed as part of the URL parameter. When you submit this, it goes inside this URL, and then we want to extract it, then validate the input. Like, we want to be sure, is the amount valid? You get things like that. You say invalid, we can say play amount, since we change that to play. So invalid play amount and things like that. Then other things it also check is the moves, then the both friends, is it selected? That's why if I select here and here and select, doesn't select anything here, it won't work. So I have to select at least someone I want to play with, both of friends, before it will work. So that's what that does. And then we validate our account. This account, the public key address of the player, to be sure that it's valid, because don't forget they will sign transaction. That's why if I click on this now, it will try to execute and ask to sign transaction. So if the wallet attached at that point in time is not valid, then the transaction can't be done. You can see it. So then I can confirm and play this. So for now, let me just cancel it. Then it will be back again. So we need that. Then we need to establish connection with the Solana blockchain. So you can see it here now, and this can either be DevNet, or if you are using mainnet, you change this to mainnet. Mainnet beta. So you can see it, and also up here you can change this as well to mainnet. This is just to indicate, because Blinks now is working on other blockchains apart from just Solana. So this help to identify based on the chain ID. If you check their doc, you will learn all those things there. So remember to change it if you are using our mainnet. So let's return this back to DevNet, and make sure you are interacting here based on, if you see this on your mainnet, if we try to play, there will be issue. So we are on DevNet. Always remember to switch according to what you set here. If you are on mainnet, then make sure you set on mainnet so that you don't have issue with it. Then we have the generate, boot, move, and determine result, and create memo instruction with game details. So the memo on Solana is just like when you are using bank transaction, that you always have a memo that accompanies it, that what's this transfer about, and keep record. So the same, and we can now use that to be our record and witness on chain about each game and each reward. So a player cannot come later and said, okay, they didn't get reward, because we can check back the transaction and see that, okay, this person was rewarded and things like that. And they cannot come and say they get reward, but it's not up to what they expect because they played with 1 so, whereas they played with 0.5 so, people. So, but since this is on chain, they know you just take it on chain, send the transaction link to them, and they have nothing else to say. So then we create the payment instruction, and using the system program, remember all those that were imported, then we do the from public key account to public key game wallet that we assigned, then the Lamport amount, then the sole transaction, all these things are just the conversion. Then get latest block hash, we need that. Then eventually we can now create our transaction, which we add memo instruction we set here, and payment instruction that we also set. Then the transaction.fee payer, that's the account of the game, the player, then recent block hash. That's all. We sent the something to the blockchain, then send the transaction, and the message like back to the Blink interface will be this: game played, your move. So for now, we can even try to comment this out, and let's try this. Let's try this now. I need to refresh. So when you see it here, and make sure we are on DevNet, yeah. So you can refresh here if you're on bigger screen, so you don't need to do the full refresh. So here we have it now. Let's try to play. Let's play 0.1 so, and click paper, you see, and then the boot. Then we want to play because we didn't implement the friend, so it just serve. Either you click any of it, just do the boot. So we want to play. Yeah. Let's play. Executing. And you can see the wallet. This is the wallet, and this is the memo. This is the wallet we are sending, which is the game wallet. Remember the wallet we have here. You see, FUX. So it's the wallet you put here. See, C4ZB2. So the wallet you put here, then the memo. This one normal compute that come along with Solana transaction. So let's confirm, and let's see what happens here. Do you see it? That it says game played, your move. You can see it now. Maybe I move a bit up here. Yeah, you can see now we have the gameplay completed, game played, your move, P, boot move, R, and result, you won. Now if we go back here, we play with 0.1. Let's see what happened here. .1. You see, even though you won, nothing happened because we had not implemented the reward. But you will see that this one is working. It allows player to play, it chooses winner and all those things. And if we click here, as expected, it contains the transaction. If we look here, you can see it, player this and this, which is the same thing we have here. Your move, play P boot move R, and result is win. So we have it recorded and you played with 0.1. So but no reward was returned to the player, which the player ought to have gotten double. That's 0.2. So but we have not implemented it. So I believe this still help you to understand the code as much, so that if you want to adjust anything, you know where to adjust. So this is where we'll use what we call action chaining. So the action chaining is what allows you to take one blink and then connect it with the next. So we don't want a situation where people get to win like this and then we have to manually try to pay them, or they have to go to another place to get reward or something. We want it to be more interactive and engaging. So once user click here, instead of this, it shows another blink which now allow transaction and things like that. So that's what this action chaining is about, and I commented this out for you to know that this Blinks works without the action chaining. So the action chaining now chain it with another action API endpoint. So, and to connect with that, we need to add this link So we need to add this link, and inside it we declare next. So what we are saying is that instead of, as the transaction is being done, once it gets it, instead of outputting this, it moves to the next. So look at it like maybe somebody making purchase, and then you get things like that. Or before they make the purchase, they need to fill form for their delivery address. Once they fill the form, they can move to the next phase, which will be to make purchase. Once they make purchase, so that's what action chaining does, and we are using the type post. There's also inline, where the code of the next action will be inside this same thing. Now it will need to be out, but since we have a bit of complex code, which is the reward code, doing transaction like signing transaction and things, I felt we should separate it, and then we use the post method. And you will see it that we reference that it is like which action should do next. We tell it go to the API actions RPS reward, which is here. So it's coming here, but we don't have anything there yet. So if I save this back and try to refresh and play, I just want you to have a more solid understanding. You will see something that this will try to move to the next action. So on DevNet. So it wants us to confirm transaction. You see it, there's an error if we check here, console, you could see it, some error is giving us some error. I want to see sign transaction, wallet request to source not available. So usually it will show the error because it will try to forward this over there, but since the transaction is not, there are times if you even refresh this, it might have done the transaction, yeah, but it will try to move to the next one, but since that one is not available, there will be issues. So let's see here again. I'm trying. You can see it now. Failed to fetch. So you see it was trying to access the RPS/reward endpoint. So it failed. But if we go here, you will see that the transaction was still done. You can see it. This is the new transaction. If I go back, you see it. That it still did the transaction, you see, 0.1. But it wasn't, just like this, it wasn't able to trigger reward just like this, but also because we have tried to use the action chaining, it also affected because it didn't show the result like it did earlier here. So instead of showing us the result directly, it was trying to show the second reward option, which isn't available. So let's build that out and fix the issue. Going back to the guide, then the reward system, building the reward system, we have the full code here. So all you need here is to copy it, scroll to the end, click shift down, select the last part, and then you can copy easily. The next thing, you want to come to the reward route and just paste everything. So good, we don't have any error. Save it. Then just by saving it, for example, I want to do something. If again I comment this out, even though I now have the reward, it will still not, because without the power of action chaining, it wouldn't know that there's another action it should show after or move to. So let's refresh this. You see what I'm saying? And now let's play the game. Let's say with one soul, pick rock, boot, and play. You can see it, that it ignored that this even existed at all, even though it has its code. Before it existed, it even tried because of this power. So I told you one of those things you will learn is action chaining, so that you understand how powerful this action chaining is, and this is how you add it. this is already, payload is already a complete something without it, and it will output the result. So if you are only you just want one single interface, then everything could just be here. But you don't want to have such complex something in one place. It may be difficult to manage. So you want to make your code as modular as possible. So if not, you want to add the action chaining. But now let's restore this. And you know, previously when we did without this reward code, it had error fetching it. So let's now see what will happen. Game draw. If we refresh again, it has played it. You see it. I think we played with one so or something. You see it, but it didn't reward the user because the action chaining is not at work to connect it. So this thing is so live, like it's connected to trigger the other one. If not, it won't work. So let's check this. Now we have done this, we've saved, we have the reward code also. Let me run through the reward code for you. Normally, you know, importing, but this time we are importing create action header, next action header, action error completed, instead of get response, post response, because the actual thing that still handle the main post, get, all those things response is the main entrance API, which is the player. So this one is just like a fallback of if the first one isn't executed, it will never go to the second one. So that's why this deals with things like nest and things like that. And as usual, you import your connection and more. Then you create the header. You remember this is the action version normal at the time you are developing. Then for this one now, we are loading and initializing game wallet. So for this, I even want to try, let's play it and see something. So let's refresh. In case you get stuck and things, you ask directly under this guide. I don't give response in Discord or even on YouTube comment or things like that when it comes to this, because it's just waste my time. So comment is all you need is register on this platform. The programming university is free, and then you can reply at any point, it asks your question and get help. But you can join the Discord, post there to hint me so I can easily check it out. So let's check this. Have we reloaded? Yes. Refresh. Then let's play again. This time let's play 0.001. Rock. Instant play. Confirm. So you see it. Access to fetch at this as issue. So now let's check something here. Let's check here. Remember the other terminal. So if we move it up, it shows us some error. And the error says throw error, game wallet initialization fail. If we look at this, find this error inside our reward code, F3, you can see it. So this is expected when our game wallet is not being properly loaded. So it gives that error, and when there's error, this see it like a access origin cause error, like you don't have access to it. So this doesn't show the complete picture. But if you check your, because this API is server side, so you can't see that error here. It is only front end code that will output the error here. So this server side, so you will see it wherever you are running your server, which is localhost, and we can see the log here. So this is what is actually failing. And that was what I was trying to explain to you. Why do we have this? We try to load an initialize game wallet. If we go down a bit after we put the code, he said it is now testing time. But before we test successfully, we have one very important thing to do. Which is to set up the key pair private key. And since this is confidential data, the best option is to set up env.local file. And unlike here we are only receiving fund based on player are paying, they are the ones spending. So you see, as I play, it asks me to sign transaction. So now you also want to take wallet and pay back player their reward. So you are doing the same thing, you are doing transaction. And when there is transaction on the blockchain, there have to be a signer because you want to spend money out of your account. So you have to sign that it is you, not another person. If there is no need for sign, then anybody can just see your account and say, wow, you have a lot of money here, and they can just spend it. But why they can't spend it is that they don't have what we call your private key, which is like your password to your bank account or ATM card or things like that. So the person that's playing this game already have that connected through connecting their wallet to this platform. You can see I can disconnect. So I need to approve the transaction. So because we want to do this automatically, we don't want to do it. We have to do everything programmatically. And that is where this came into play, which is it helps us to take our wallet, which is called the key pair on Solana, which is the private key and public key. The private key is the secret one. You don't show. This is the public key. Like your bank account, you can send it to anybody, show it anywhere to get fund. But the private key is the password behind it that unlock access, including your ATM, your maybe mobile money or things like that. So you don't give that out. The same here, you don't give out the private key, but we still need to access it. That's why we will be using the env.local, which is a type of file in your Next.js that is not committed publicly, it's not open. When you are even hosting it, we see how we do that together. You don't also give it out publicly. So let's see what we've got here. Package JSON. So we need to create it here, but let me just explain that. So this is taking the private key and deriving the public key of our game wallet and then using both to sign the transaction. So since this next endpoint, so since this is just a next action, not the main action, which is the play, then we don't really need the get request stuff. So and then we have, remember, just like we got a confirm, So here now you can see it. Now let's quickly run through the rest as well. We'll still do that. I want to put some comment here. I thought I put, remember the get response code, and then we have the options code, and here we have the post request code code. So here now, as usual, you have the exports or the option and things like that. Then the post request that undo the transaction. And remember what this, let me reduce this. What this want to do for us is it need to take listing to the transaction that was done by the player, and once it's determined loss, win or draw, then it takes receive all those values to trigger this, and then it get the game private key wallet and generate the public key with it, get the two key pair, put them together ready for transaction. Then the next thing it need to do is, if you look here, the body of the next action post request, then validate account. So we try to validate the account. Then as usual we create connection. So here ensure is the same. If it's devnet, if it's mainnet, this also should be mainnet. So then we have the signature as well. So confirm the previous transaction. You remember that this is depending on the previous transaction from the player's transaction. So then we have all these status and everything confirmed. Once you have that, you get transaction details to determine game results. So which help you to determine game results. Then you pass the game results from the memo, which you do all this return completed action for losses. So if it's a loss, then you return it. But if not, you proceed. Remember, it's 3 outcomes. If it is a loss, then you don't trigger the transaction at all. You just return to the user that, sorry, game over, you try again. But if it is draw or win, draw, you need to send back the amount, or based on your own game, something. But for now, send back the amount the player played with. Then the third option, win, we want to double and send it back as reward. So then that means we have to make sure to get, if it is win, then we double it and you do the transaction. If not, we just send the reward, and then we create the transaction, the blocked hash, the payer who is paying. You see that instead of here, that the fee payer here was up fee payer here was the account, which is the player. Here now the fee payer is the game wallet, which you see here we assign and we extract the private key, because don't forget, we don't expect the player to pay for transaction fee to receive reward. You understand? So we pay, so the player pays nothing again. Once they have won or draw, they just get back their reward. So we need the fee payer to be our own game wallet. Then all those things, put it together, and once all those are successful, then we output the results. If it is okay, draw, or congrats, you won or you win. So we put all those things together. That is essentially what this code is all about. So I hope you get it now. Now that you understood it, remember when we try to do this, it isn't working because we need the private key to even derive at the public key and be able to sign transaction. Without the private key, you don't sign transaction. So we need to create this new file. Remember, inside the main, not in app or anything, you see. So main, inside it, you click new file, and then we do .env .local. You see it? So this, now you will see it a bit faded because you need to confirm that your git ignore actually ignores it. You see it? Because don't forget, this is your private key. Anybody that have access to it can withdraw your fund. Though we are dealing with fake token, which is just developer fund. That's why I will be revealing some of these things for you. But if you are using it for actual mainnet and you're having real SOL or other real token, then they can just withdraw and steal off your money. You don't want that. So that's why you must make sure this is not committed to GitHub and things like that. So it should be in your git ignore. Things to be ignored when you commit. So we close it. It's there. But now I want to create two. The second one I want, so that when we commit this, you will have it there, which you don't need it, but you will see it when you fork the repo, which will be .env.local.example. So you can see this now. So env.local.example. Then if we come to the guide, you have a template to follow. You can just copy this and paste it first in the example. You see it now. So your private key for the wallet you want to use, you take it and place it here. For that wallet you want to use, you place it here. It's usually very long, and don't worry, it will show this head, but the full something, you just copy it as it is and place it. So if we go here now, so for that wallet, I have this here that I want to copy. First thing, copy the same thing here in the local. Remember this local. Don't copy anything. When you fork the repo, you only see this. So you rename it from this. You edit it, rename, and clear this example. You see it. You say we have a file like that. I'm just showing you. So you should have .env.local. Don't put your private key out. I keep warning you. So that's why we have this. We need to close this up and make sure we are dealing with env.local. And here now I need to paste that. So I just copy this env, and then I clear this and paste it. You see it now? So this should even be, so that it will work, should be in the local. It is, because we are not using it in Frontend, it's Backend API. So this is it. So you just copy this. You see there's no code or anything. Just paste it. And you can see this that I've pasted here already, and it's long like that. You can see how long this can be. Just letting you know how important you should keep that. Once you place this, let's go back and retry this and see if this error will be fixed from the wallet something. Let's try again here. Retry. Then play this. Let's start with, let's see the last game. So the number will be different. The last game we did was 0.01. So let's use 0.1 so we differentiate them. So 0.1, we are playing rock, boot, and play. Confirm. You see it is, and you see it now that there is no error, and you see game wallet initialized with public key. So remember the private key here, it first initializes public key, which if you remember is the same wallet we use here. So to avoid any confusion, it derive it, we put the private key, use it to derive it, to ensure that it can sign. Because if it can derive the private key, the public key from the private, then it can use the private key to sign successfully. So we have it now, and this works. So say game drawn has been sent. If we come back here, you can see it. 01. This is what we play with now. So we receive this transaction, but I don't think it's sent out, even though this transaction was successful. So there's something that might be, no, sorry, reward sent, and this is the same wallet. So that's why we put some of these things. I'm coming, let me check. So now I try to repost this complete code. So I will check this. You can see it's the same, and then let's retry again. Seems there was an issue with it before. So you will have this complete one we work with is the precise one. So if it work here, that's what you will get in the repo. And maybe I will try to also update anything here. with this API. So let's retry. Play. We've played 0. So let's play 1 now. But the action chain is working, is getting the wallet. Now it's not paying the reward, which it should do. Since it has access to the wallet, said game drawn again, and then reward sent. Let's now see this. I think it works now. You see it. So that was what I was saying here. Now it's draw again. It's even interesting that it draw again. So the player play with this 1, and then we can check it out. And instantly from demo account 2 is the player. This is our game account wallet. So which is demo account 3, and then it receive it. Since it draw, it instantly within similar transaction, almost instantly you see it. It's return back this to it because it was drawn. You can see it sent 0.1 so. You see it now, sent 1 so. Sorry, 1 so, sorry. Because it was draw. So, and that's nice. So I sent it the 1 so, which means it's working. Let's retry again and see if we can have chance to maybe double, or maybe it's even lost. I will want double so that we see all. So now again, let's start from the beginning. Here, play. I just love to clear this so I can easily spot any error. So you see better luck next time. So with that, we don't expect any reward. You can see it. So it didn't send reward. It works normal. Let's now try if it's draw or win. Will it send anything? Play. Wow. Can we retry? So you know that's why it's a random something. So maybe when we try one, we just go to win. Maybe. So that's the beauty of the game, is random, the unpredictable. And when you see the transaction, you see that it's the same wallet that was initiated inside here. So the same wallet, the game wallet. So let's see. And everything as explained will be here. Better luck next time. Who? And we need this to confirm this again. Then we start over again. Let me stick to luck, because it might not be chance to win. This is where we'll stay. Just want to confirm for you, but it's working anyway, but not bad to reconfirm. You see all the move and all those things. It's just keep saying better luck. Next time, you lost. So, and that's the beauty of the game, because people don't just want to be winning and doubling. Then We won't have any fund left to even reward anybody. Probably lost again. Wow, you see, congratulations, you won. You see it, to so has been sent. It's even good, and you can see it. All those things have been. So if we go back here, we've done a lot of tries, so you see them, but we can easily spot the last one we did, which is playing with one so. You can see it. This is the last one. You see 11, 10 as we are playing, and then this we played with one so. Here we go, and from the demo account 2 we played. Then once we won, instantly it sent us double of that. So here we see the transaction, you see the results, amount we played with one so, see it there. And then if we check this, sent to so, and if we check the transaction balance, here we have a balance of 7.8 so that's what we should have at the end of the day for that. So this has 8, you know, got 1 becomes 9, and then this was 16 minus 1 from it, and then when it won, this lost about 2, and then this gained 2. You see 7.8 and 7.8. It lost 2 and then credit this. So you can see it now that we have been able to build this, learned a lot, everything promised earlier when we started, Blinks game, action chaining, building it with Next.js, transaction, ability to set up instant on-chain record and on-chain winning and reward. Everything is in there, and that's the aspect of it. And then testing the Blinks, we have been doing the testing already, so we can just keep here, and if it's not working, as I said, take time, and if not, you can share a link to your repo and screenshot link with them and your issue as comment under this particular content guide on the Programming University. So when you do that, then you can hit me on Discord to check it out, approve, and then get help with it. So the next is now to move to production, which is deployment. How do we deploy this? So we deploy the rock, paper, scissors game, different platform you can use, but we'll be using Vassal. So you can use Netlify or things like that. So let's quickly do that. Yeah, the next part now is to make it production ready, and also that's when you can share it with others and things like that, and also get verification. For us to do that, we create a repo and push it to GitHub. So this, now we have it here. Let's create a repo on GitHub and then push it to GitHub. To do that, we need to create an empty repo. So here you can follow the programming also on the program on GitHub. Let me create that new repo. It should be on the programming. So we shall call it the same name with our project. So I'll copy it to avoid any spelling error. Make sure no space or something. So Blinks game, one rock, paper, scissors. Yeah. So this is it now. Description, optional. Don't add anything. So we can make this production, let's say learn to build Solana Blinks games. Rock, paper, scissors. RPS game links. So learn to build this and just the description, but don't initialize anything because we already have a lot of those things here. That's what we want to move there, so there won't be conflict. It should be an empty repo. It is not a template. Not a template. We don't need template. Just this. Then we want to make it public. Don't add readme. Don't add git ignore. Just like that, and create repo. So click create repo. So it's, you see it created an empty repo and nothing is there. So for us to do now, the next step, you see it in the guide, is we need to set the branch. So maybe git branch main. So we can come here, but most times since it has done git ignore, it has initialized git, so you don't really need to, but let this still be running. The second, so go back to the first here. So what really matters is git remote. So let's first check the do git status. You can see, so it tells you that you already are on branch main, which is what this one is saying. Then, except you are using very old repo that talks about master, it should have been main. So with Next.js you initialized, but all these things are not being added. So let's see, let's do git remote v, that shows like version. Git remote version we want to see. So we don't have any. That will show you the link of the repo. This your code, local code is connected to. So since we don't have any yet, we take this on which is git remote add origin, then the link to this our repo. That's all that's there. Then we paste it, you can see it, .git. And enter. So if I do that git remote version again, then it now shows me, you see, that we have the origin is now this repo, fetch origin, where we can fetch info from and where we can push to. So you want to ensure you have this. So this is now connected to this repo. And the next thing you want to do, according to what we got, here now is to get the so here in our guide now we've done all this. Then we need to now, after we've added it, we can do the git status again, and as usual, then we do the git add. The git add is to ensure all these things can be added to the git add everything. If I do it now, they'll be all green, you can see it, but I need to commit it to be able to push it. So I do git commit -m, and then the comment, I think I want this comment, so I just paste it there and enter. So you can see it now that it's all these marks. And then if I do git status, it will tell me nothing to commit, but I need to push connect, and this local main branch is not fully connected to the main branch. It's just the repo that's connected, but the head of the repo are not connected. So I need to try to push. If I do git push, it will not work for the first time. So I need to first do this git push set upstream origin main, paste. Then after that, any subsequent push I want to do, I can just do git push because it's now connected. So you see now, if I do git status, you can see that your branch is up to date with. So it's now tracking each other, and just with git push or git pull push, it send git pull, it pull any update there. So if I reload this, refresh it, you see it that from the empty, and we didn't have any issue. So if you're having issue, it's because you didn't follow the instruction to initialize empty repo. So you can see it now. We have this initialize, and you can see everything is now. So, and this is the repo that you will be using, that you can fork and everything. The link will be in the description and also in the guide as well. So we have all this now, and there are working codes that we tested together. When you notice here, in terms, it didn't even like push the local dot example. So maybe not local. Let me clear this and see. You see it now that I can now commit this because it's not part of the git. Ignore. So because of this austerity, it's just anything after that it will just. So that means when you see this in your repo, you should know that you will rename it to from this to env.local and clear this dot example. So here now, let's do again. Git status. Still didn't allow me to. it's a security measure anyway. So maybe I need to give it a kind of name, env local, or I should just do it and remove the dots. So let's see if it will allow this to commit git status. So it's saying it now. So when you are renaming it, then you will rename it to .env.local so that you can put your something there. Make sure you don't just put it here, it will not even work, but so you don't expose your key. This is what I'm exposing, so not the actual full key like that. So here now I need to do the add again. So I'm doing this so that when you do, you can have, because this is the repo that will be official for the guide, so you can have, we built it together, so you will get the same thing, we work together. It won't be another repo entirely. So just to help understand it better, and I want you to be able to know what you just need to change, which is just this, and then the name as well. So upstream, no, initial, added env example. So you can see it now, and then I can push. If I just do git push now, it will work. You see it just works straight. So here it just works straight, and if we refresh, you see you don't see anything dot, but if I refresh here now, then you have the env local dot example, which you will rename, remove this dot example and put your, so when you are committing it, it won't commit. Or you copy this as well, yeah, copy it, then paste it, the second one rename it. So you always have this example, because if you just rename this and push to your own repo or something, you won't get this example in case you need it later. So let's click that, you can see it now. So I know precisely I need this example to, you know, to do my env, because without it this won't work. So I think that's is done and ready. The only thing left here now is the what do we call this? Yeah, so this is done now anyways. Line readme, you see the readme I told you shouldn't bother to use. So hash, so is the guide tied to and then the URL. So just want to make sure you have all the details there. So this is what you will see. Likely. If I preview it, you can see it now. Then you can full guide and video at this. So you can just push the same, add, commit, updated, readme, then we push. That's it. I come back here. So when you visit as well and you want to come back to the content, learn to build full guide and video ads. So if you tap here now, it will take you to the guide. You can see it now. So the repo is settled and done. So the next thing we want to work on now is this. Deploying to Vercel. So you should have a Vercel account or Netlify or whatever you want to host on. So once you go to new project, and you will come to interface like this. That's why you should have audit on your repo. So in the repo, you want to be able to use this, but since this is a free version, so I need to, it won't work on the this or not like organization. So organization. So what I need to do now is, remember when you come here to give this a star place, I need to fork this to my personal account. Yeah, to this Solomon Foske, make a copy and then create fork, just how you fork it. So is that fork I can have access to here, because it will ask me to pay for the hosting if I'm doing it through organization. So you see it now. So I have a fork of this here, and if I refresh here, you see that it's now showing just now under Solomon Foske. So it's now showing. I can click on import. This is showing the repo you have. So import, and then this is the name of the repo. You see it, just let it remain. It will automatically dictate, so it knows that we are using Next.js, so it automatically detected that, and all these things just leave it. The only thing we need to do is this area, which is environment setup. That's the env. To do, remember we were using the env.local here, but now that cannot connect with our something. So for us to do that, we need to environment variable. We come here and you see it, example value. So paste an env above to populate the form. So one thing about Vercel, I don't know that, is if I just open this env.local and just copy everything here, you understand, and just try to, let's see, move it, it will just pick it itself. So copy and then paste it, it will fix everything itself. You see it, so it will pick and ignore comment and pick everything. So you don't need to be like, where should I put this? It will fill everything yourself. And if there are more, you can add it, but we only have one, which is the private key. So we can just minus this game private key, or the build output, and you can leave those ones. but we use PNPM. So you can state build command. At times I state here next build output install. So if you want to do any install or something, so I want to do that because I'm using PNPM, so I will do this PNPM install. But if you are not, you don't need to. PNPM install, because we are using PNPM, and by default Vercel use npm, so the directory leave it, build next build. So leave all those, we can leave all those, but they install so that it will align with what I have of, like, I can use the npm, it doesn't matter, but and in case you have error, just remove it. But let's try it together anyway. So you have your key here, that is what we make this to. So this is like your env local, it will be there but won't be accessible in the front end because it's in the server. Then you can now click deploy. So Next.js, you see it has automatically selected that deploy. So if there is no issue, all this should be deployed. In some minutes, since the site is not that heavy. So we got error here. So deployment field to initialize game wallet, private key not found in environment. Game wallet, private key not found. Was here? You got it here. So maybe we just ignore this and let it use the default and try again. Deploy. Fail to initialize game wallet. Wow. So this keep failing. Right here we have the game wallet. Value. So it wasn't just about this. Yeah, this keep failing, and which is even good. We are learning together. this keep failing, which is even good. We are learning together. So I think even when I use the normal without the, and I've even initiated with it pm install. So I don't think that's the issue here. The main issue that seems to be causing it, you can see it from this error, keep saying it couldn't initiate the private key. So let's come back here. Let's try to build this locally. Run like pm run build. If it's built successfully without error, then there are some things I'm already thinking that I'll try out. So it's another learning. Linting and checking validity of types. Collecting pages. You see it that this initialize, because this is a build, like the same thing that has been done here. Everything to make sure is working together fine. Now a public key, you can see it, and this build works. Everything just works perfectly fine. So it works fine. So that works fine, but the build is failing here. So based on this error, I just remember I was already thinking about it, that most times when you are dealing with environmental variables, you want to expose it because it's being used also like in Nest.js. You need to expose it with Nest public. So, and here we didn't do that. Not in this readme, I just modified that. So here now we have it, but we didn't do that to expose it here. So it was working locally. So let's give that a try. I'm not like 100% sure, but based on my experience, I think we can give it a try. Next public underscore. So we also put it here. Before the name. Yeah, so this exposes it. I think it might be important in terms of, it might not be because this is my local server, but uploading it in SJS it might be. So let's give that a try. If that was the issue, this is back on install command. I want pm or else to use. Let's delete this and try again. Let me copy it like we did and then paste here. So it did that. So let's try and deploy again. So I didn't change any other thing. They are just trying to troubleshoot here, but with this Nest public. Oop. It might not be because we need to first push this. Don't forget this is dealing with the, so we need to restart this entirely, I think, so that we have the, so for us now I need to quickly push this. Don't forget that this is not connected to the local, it's connected to GitHub. So I need to push this, push git add, git commit, updated env next, let's go public. So git push, if we it status, everything is up to date. Yeah, so I think we need to come back here. Go back to our actual Git repo. So this just came in now. So I need to update it. You remember we forked this, so we click on no code. Up to date. That was before. If I refresh it now, it will detect the updates. Yeah, because the Vercel deployment failed. So let's update this to have the latest changes. So it now has this, and then it seems to have one pending check. Initialize the something because it's like auto. So it has initialized it again. So since that failed, I've deleted this project entirely that was failing. We push this next public something. Let's see the effect. Even here on the local, did we run it? Public run build. After we change the name, I should have run that. Let's see. But why that is, let me also retry this again. Collecting data. It works. So let me retry this again. Start afresh, select the blink, which is now the updated version that has this. If I refresh the fork one, that failed, but I've deleted it. So let's import and retry it again. So if it still exists, it would have told me that the name. So because I deleted that one, so the build settings said I want it to be pnpm install. That's what it should run. Then the environment variable, I want to copy this and put it there. Hopefully we get it fixed this time. So every other thing is as is. Next.js, the default path, that's where we have, is in the root directory. So deploy, hopefully. But if it fails, we are learning. That's how the programming is. Even things you have been doing over time, at times they just trip you off, and you have to start seeing what could cause the issue. And can you please do? It's usually about 1 minute. So once it's about 1 minute now. Oops, it failed again. Game wallet. It just failed again. Maybe what I would do next attempt, I won't customize it, but I'll just fix here. I will try to check, is the private key even saved in there? So this is the project now. I came here, you can see it failed about 2 minutes ago. So if I go to the settings, I try to see that environment variable. It's not even showing up at all. Could it have been that it's not taking the format? Let's see. I went and added it under the settings of the project manually again. So let's see if it will fail again. So it succeeded. It did. So might not even have been like, because the next public, I think, is to make that code available in the front end as well, but not like exposed. So which means even if we had used the normal game, would it have worked? Because it seems as we are adding it, it didn't add. If you look at the project, it didn't get added. So now, so those are the things. It's good that we learned a lot together, and I will still like to try to change this. Maybe because to it, but let me know as well, what's your experience as well. We are all learning here together. You can see this is deployed, and if I visit, yeah, so what I did is to go to that project where it wasn't the project. Once it's failed deployment, to have created the project, go there, go under settings. Under settings, go to environment variable, and then set that the same way, just copy and move it in. If there's anyone, you may delete it, and then go back to deployment again and under the option and redeploy. Yeah, so we have this now, and so universal can also visit with this. I think that's so here. If you go here, that's what I'm saying. You go to settings, and under the settings, you will see the AMV file. AMV, set it there the way we copy it in. Then you can come back to deployment, and the failed one, just click here and click redeployed. That was what I did, you see. And then 9 minutes ago and 3 minutes after it's deployed. So it was able to use the file, but now not so sure if it's even when I use the next public, it's but I will still do more research to know. So maybe later I will remove the next public, because my experience with that is it's to give that thing and expose it in the browser to your front end, but still keeping it private. That's what we use for private key for things like API keys. Yeah. So I think it should be safe because we use the same for API key. An API key, you don't want to reveal it to user in the front end because then they can just exhaust your money and all those things, so, and use it as well. So I think that should be the same to save. So let me know as well your experience. So we got this now. I think we can get back to, and we can now begin to test and copy this. Go back to here, and instead of this now, if I try to duplicate this, you know, usually we got this local something, so I just need to change this because the slash API and things still remain the same. So good, you can see it. Let me move this bigger. You can see it now, that, and then some feedback is now here. You can see some of the feedback that wasn't when it was local. If I copy this, return it to local, you see it couldn't validate it. But now that is hosted and like production, you can see it. So let's give it a try, and you see now that the link has changed from previously when it was local. Yeah, I think the local have shut down I've shut down this. Yeah. Once this is back, it will work. So you see it now, and then you have the local. But now, maybe I just duplicate it so we have it clearer. Can make reference back. But now we have this. I can refresh it. So you will see some errors here, but the major thing you see, they are valid. All the action version, blockchain ID, all those things that we set, response data, and those things, we have almost everything. Then, or if you have this kind of something, you will get easy approval because a lot of those things are valid. Then we can try to start playing. Which was the last one we played? So I like to use another number so it will be different. So we played one. So let's play this. Or close to here. Remember, this is the blink something now. Rock boot play. And we're on DevNet. So that's executing. Good. It's a draw. And one so sent. So let's see if it works actually here. Good. It does. You see. It's even, you see, received and then sent. So this is now at a production site. And it still works fine. And you can see all our endpoints are doing fine. Play, and you can see it, and it gives reward if we try again. And try 0.1, so just to confirm it. So it's if you draw again, or you can see it's a different amount, so you can see it clearly. You see? So you can say 2.1 and then get it back. That's like 01, then 01, 0.01, 0.1. So I think that is any other thing. So that's just it. You test the production, and then the next thing is for you to verify. So, and remember, before you can verify, you need to change that your domain and assign custom domain to it. You get a custom domain and use it for it. Like you see, the dots, this one is free, and so a lot of people seems to have abused it. So I think that's why initially when Blink started, it was approved, but after about 3-4 months, they don't approve it because it seems people just try to pull up scam things like that. So you buy the domain and you are able to add it up here. I think under, is this settings? Yeah, domains. So if you get your custom domain, like you can just add them here and it will be attached to this, and it's that custom domain, not this one, that you will submit. If you are submitting it, you will submit with the endpoint. So you see the application here. Okay, the name, your email, Telegram, Twitter, project name, brief, explain what your action do, then that action API URL. So in this case, what you will post there is this. Action URL. Expect to share. You understand? So this is your action URL, and the link you expect to share. If it is the same you want to share or something, usually then you paste it there as well, inside there as well. So that's why you share, that it will change on forward to Blink, also on platform like Twitter, and not just dial to, because that's where you want to share it to get interaction and things like that. So you can see it now, but here it won't be Vercel, to be maybe this dot whatever you have and things like that, and then you can fill other details and submit. So that's it. I think the project repo will be there for you, which we created everything together, we updated it together, and where is the repo now? If I refresh this will be fixed. It starts to show mark, you see it, so it shows deployment completed. So, and anytime I push it, it should be here, and you see it now. So this is the repo, and you can see the basic things you need here is here, and here we go. It's been a long ride, almost like 3 hours of recording. Whew. I just want to make sure, do you like how I cover this in depth? That's why I said, if you know any of this part, you can just skip. But doing all this, don't forget you can use the donate link in the description to support, to always give this in depth. Even a lot of time that I get like this, get grant or support like that, it's not just about this. I go in depth to deliver more of value, focusing on you, the student, on the programming university, more than, oh, it's all about what they just pay, I just did this. No. So getting donation and those things we support, and also recommending the programming platform for different development, Web3 development platform for us to do guide, sponsored guide for developer and break things down for the developer to comprehend easily. So I think that's it. Anything else in the guide? So if you are getting the grant and things like that, you can apply. Like when I did this, I got response, in fact, in like an hour or 2 hours. But that is not usual. That's not the fact. So usually it's within 72 hours to like a week. So you should not expect that like that. So to support creating this content, but going this far is about me making sure that if you are watching this, and this is even the first Blink game development, Solana Blinks game development you find on in terms of article on Explore online and video. So I make it so deep, and that's how I try to do a content. So then you have the exercise to clone this repo. You see how I clone it here to my private account. Then you create, make sure you please remember to start it first. Start it, then fork it. Then when you fork it into your own account where you fork it here, then you can now copy here and clone your own version to your PC. When you do that, you want to create a new something first, a new what do I call, like a kind of a new branch. Then when you add whatever you want to add, when you push it, don't send a pull request to me. You send the pull request to your own main, or maybe if your main you edit directly, just like merge it to your own main, not send pull request. So then you can now update. So whatever updates you are doing, it will reflect in your hosted this. So that's it for this. Nothing left. So then you do the exercise and you push the changes, then host, and then you can submit, share your experience, what you submit everything as reply here. Yeah, you should be able to reply when you log in. Create a free account is there, and then you can subsequent one as well. So just submit it, share your repo, your Blinks game link, the API routes, then the repo, your repo, submit the 3, share the experience, and then you can tell me in the Discord to check it out. So I approve and check it out as well, just to solidify this credit reference. So that's it. You can follow me on Twitter, on Discord, on X, Discover, or other platforms like that. Remember to support the project with donation. We find it helpful, and recommend us for grants and things, content, the Web3 developer grants, if you see, to help break those things down for the developer community. I remain Solomon Foske. That's it for this how to build Blink games, Solana Blinks game, step by step. See you in the next one. Like, subscribe, tap notification bell, share the video, please share, and I will see you. Please remember to keep the programming spirit and alive, your assurance to eventually succeed as a developer, and please always do good to humanity and nature with your Web3 development skill, and not evil, to make the world and universe better place for us all. Thank you, and see you in the next guide. Bye.